We're live on a Saturday. This is Rich Lieberman, and welcome to the Bay Area and beyond Media Pulse. We talk about, well, I do. I'm saying we. Tell me how many people use the third person as if to make themselves seem and be more important. So they say we a lot as if they're more than just a single person. So okay. So I'm basically it's me, myself, and moi, right? And I. Okay. So the other day, and this is really important because this thing in LA is it's just beyond all scope. I could just imagine what it's like being down there, living in there. I have a lot of people that none of them are affected by this fire. They live in the areas that are, like West Hollywood or out near Orange County, Long Beach, which have been basically not affected by this fire. But it's becoming just awful. And this is a non-media standpoint here, but imagine this. You live down there, and let's, and people say, oh, what's happened in all the rich places, the rich people, they can afford. Well, a lot of them, yeah, can afford, but a lot of them cannot. But and a lot of them are elderly people, by the way, who have had houses down there for years, generations, and may not have the insurance, may have no insurance. Okay, I don't want to go off topic, but there's a lot of hell going on down there. It's going to only get worse. And a lot of these people, they literally did leave and have nothing. They have no clothes, they got no food. It's hard as hell to find a motel down there, I'm told, even hotels. And, if you have insurance, that's got to be a monumental cluster fuck. I'm sure you can get right through to the insurance companies right away. So, anyway, just the idea of how that is if you're living in that crap down there. Okay. The other day I was talking about this LA firestorm. And I said, and I've highlighted multiple times KNX on radio and KNBC and KTLA on television, doing a hell of a job, especially KNX. And I intimated, well, I didn't intimate, I just said it. God forbid we have a calamity like this. We already had the Oakland Hills fire in 1991. And compared to what's going on down there, that was basically a little matchbook. But I also mentioned that another, God forbid, if we were to ever have something like that, not just a fire, could be, who knows, an earthquake, flooding of monumental proportions, God forbid, a terrorist incident. Anyway, something like that, where there's no power, where we have limited resources. And once we did get power, we would watch or hear the coverage. And frankly, again, this is my opinion, obviously. We don't have the personnel. We don't have the personnel to cover such of an incident or whatever you want to call it, a natural disaster. We don't. There are good people here, don't get me wrong, that work either on television or the scant amount of people working in radio here. But by and large, we don't. And from a media standpoint, that's actually pretty sad and pathetic, considering all the various good people that we used to have when we used to have a legitimate, credible news staff on a KCBS, for example. Listen to what KNX is putting out. It's not just KNX. KFI has done a solid job too, but nothing like KNX. They have credible people working at the scene. They're all over the place. And, LA is LA. It's a maze of 20 million people, right? maybe not that much, but up there. And they have really good, solid people. We don't have that on the radio here. We don't even have that on television. There are, again, good people. There are some reporters who have been here a while, but nothing like LA. And I just, having listened to and watched some of the coverage, I have not watched CNN. MSNBC has done an okay job. Interestingly enough, one of the few networks, cable networks, that haven't really been on this is Fox News for whatever reason. The local Fox station in LA, on the other hand, has done a very good job. They all have. Most notably, though, KNBC and KTLA. They have people, a lot of them grew up in LA, a lot of them know the geography, they know the area, they have connections, they know people within the city limits in terms of fire department people, cops, sheriffs. And that's very valuable when you have once in a lifetime incidents like this. And I shudder to think, and again, I hope to God that we don't have to, have something like this happen in the Bay Area. I'm talking like a terrorist incident, an earthquake, which is forecast to happen any day now, any moment. Um, because the personnel that we do have, by and large, doesn't know shit. They're amateurs personified. They don't know. I've said this a million times. They don't know the geography. They basically just got out of college, some of them, which, by the way, doesn't mean that just not everybody who gets out of college is bad. They're not. There are really, really some good people who have a God given talent and can pretty much start early. Not here. I haven't seen it. Sure as heck haven't heard it. And it would be very glaring, not to mention beyond the tragic elements that would be incurred if, again, we have some kind of horrible event like a earthquake, like a terrorist incident, like something which the public focuses on. The public is reliant on the people putting out the information. I'm not just talking about interviewing people on the street and lamenting the fact that they just lost their cat or a horse, or more importantly, their belongings, their house. Houses can be replaced, human beings cannot. Information is vital, and which is one of the reasons why it's more than just reporting on fires. And I'm not talking about the fire that's down in LA, the fires. I'm talking about this kind of monumental disaster. And when you rely on people from the various scenes, now we don't have as spread out geography in the Bay Area as they do in LA, where you have the freeways, you have the canyons, the areas from Santa Monica to Pacific Palisades, up the Dinas, the Pasadenas, the Altadenas, Arcadia, Monrovia, and Santa Monica and San Bernardino, the so called Inland Empire. LA is spread out. Therefore, it's a lot more difficult challenges to cover something like this. Again, I got to give them credit for being able to do this. They are a lifeline for the people down there. So I shudder to think what would happen here if that were to happen. And maybe it's too early to start talking about that. If that's the case, so be it. Me bad. But you think about those things. And during the Loma Prieta, which by the way wasn't as horrific as it wasn't as hellish as it is down in LA with what's taking place there, with the fires and infrastructure, all these houses and homes that have been destroyed, the smoke that's in the air. People impending insurance disasters, getting in touch with insurance, getting literally clothes when you've been told to evacuate, driving around. I understand. And we haven't even talked about the looting. We haven't talked about gouging. You can't get a motel down there. I saw images of people, elderly people coming out of a convalescent home. Can you imagine the trauma these people, their home, their place where they live, and these are elderly people, folks, and nowhere to go. Where are they going to go? They're probably going to put them up somewhere. But the trauma of having to deal with what's just befalls you, and to make matters worse, they got forecast Santa Ana, those ugly multi, what is it, 100-mile-an-hour winds forecast for Monday and Tuesday. That may have changed. I'm doing a live broadcast, but nevertheless, and I'm going off subject. I'm talking about the reporters who have an obligation, a duty to know what the hell they're talking about, to give out the vital information that is indeed vital, and to make sure that people have information, which when something like this happens, everything is kaput. The power, all the everything that have been put out to pasture. Information, again, is vital. And you have to have capable people who have information, know how to broadcast it. So, God forbid we have something like this. And God forbid we find and have quality people putting out information that a lot of the public is going to need, and then some. I'm Rich Lieberman. It is Saturday. And let me ask you again, folks, please make a contribution to my site. Go up on the PayPal icon, click on it. Any dollar amount is welcome. I appreciate people out there who have contributed. I have an opinion. Duh. I also have information. Every now and then, I'm going to give you a scoop and more scoops. And you are coming to my site because you want independent thought. You don't want the BS. You want the real deal. And I provide you that for the most part. And I appreciate your support of independent thought. Every now and then, I give you more than you bargained for. And all of you that have donated in the past, I thank you. That enables me to keep this site afloat and to give you thought provoking opinion and ideas, scoops, information that I most assuredly can tell you you will not get anywhere else. Have a great Saturday. If you have any information, tips, I will keep you confidential, anonymous. That's cool. It's Rich dot Lieberman, Lieberman at gmail.com. Rich.Lieberman at gmail.com. If you want to text me sometime and you have information, you want to call me sometime, call the toll free number 415 999 4454. 415 999 4454. Please, let's keep this site completely independent. Therefore, I give you what you desire every day. Thanks. See you soon.